Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our jointed Frankenstein. Yep, you guys asked for him, and here he is. I've got all of my pieces cut out, as should you, and we're just gonna hop right into it here. And I've got kind of all the different segments separated just to make things easier for you, okay? So we're gonna start off with his head, okay? And I don't wanna lose track of how I have it laid out here, so I'm gonna be very careful. Got the black layer that's going to go on first, and then we're going to put this layer next. So go ahead and flip it over, and let's begin applying our glue. This is a simple paper piecing project, but the end result is cool. It's got that nostalgic vibe to it. I know that before things got all crazy with the decorations, these little jointed die cuts were all the rage. Especially with that, I think it's Bastille, I think is the name of the company. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I believe so. Okay, so we've got that in place. Next, and you can see here I did some strategic inking on this piece here. I only inked right here because it's the only part that's going to be visible. On this white, I just inked a little bit of green around here, but that was about it. Okay, so let's, oh geez, what are you doing, glue? You are just excited as I am for this project. Let me clean off this nozzle real quick. Okay. So let's get this glue going here. And I'm definitely in my happy place right now. As much as I love crafting for Halloween even more. If I wasn't filming, I'd put on some of my favorite little Halloween shows and just kind of get lost into the innocence that is Halloween. Okay, so we've got that in place. Next, we're going to take this layer with his little nose, and that's going to go on next, and you can see how it makes it nice and dimensional. Okay, so let's flip that over, and we're literally going to put together limb after limb, limb by limb. We're going to go limb by limb, do his torso, and then of course just grab our little brads and join them all together. It's almost as if we are Dr. Frankenstein building our monster. And we went with a cute look. There we go. Okay, all right, next, just got to put his hair in place. That's going to go right here, as you can see. He's got his little bolts in there. He's gonna get those in place as well. And this glue almost wants to just, it's almost like it's coming out by itself right now. I'm barely even pressing on it. I must have it like front loaded like crazy. Okay, there we go. Just match it up with a little circle at the top. That's where you're gonna put, well, you're gonna either put your little string in there, or if you have something that you want to hang it on at home, you can use that to hang it. Okay, now we have these three little pieces here, and this is for the little staples in his skull, because I think you gave him a brain or something, right? And I'm just going to put one little dot of glue on that. I think that's all you really need. You don't want that shooting out all over the place, and it should fit in there like a little puzzle. I'm going to use my little dowel here to help me with that. Okay, this one looks like a little rock over here on the right hand side. One little dot of glue will do. Pop that right in there, just like a little puzzle. I got some of that goo stuck in there. That's okay. I mean, he is a monster after all. Okay, and the last little piece. This is almost big enough to hand hold. There we go. Grab my little dowel, help push that in. It's a few layers thick, so you may need to give it a little nudge. There we go. He's coming together now. And now we've got two of these, and you'll notice that the ends here are kind of curved. You can see where they go. Kind of follow the angle of his little temple there. So just make sure you match up the right one on the correct side. And I'm going to scoop this up a little bit. There we go. And we added an extra layer to give that sense of dimension there. You could dirty that up too. I tried to ink this. This is actually a silver foil, and it's kind of hard to ink it. I might get out I have this like cream that, oops, let's get this part down first before we do anything else. There we go. So Frank is looking sharp here, and we're actually going to take this and foam square this to his body when we're all done. There we go. All right, Frank, looking sharp, dude. You're looking sharp. All right, just trying to make sure that's nice and aligned. There we go. All right, so his head is good, and let's start with his right leg, okay? So we got black, brown, and then we have the actual pant. And we're gonna start by just gluing this onto the black layer. Go easy with the glue here. And now what I'd suggest doing, just to make sure that this thing dries nice and flat, since it's got so many layers, especially on these larger pieces, after we get it together, let's pop it underneath our mat to help it dry nice and flat. And I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. I thought that was hilarious when my teachers used to say that. Now it's just known as a dad joke. And I don't even know if you want to call it a joke. It's not really that funny. All right, so we got a little bit of glue that shot out there. And of course, I've mentioned that time and time again during the previous assemblies for our little treat holders. I want to try to avoid getting any glue onto the black because it does leave an unsightly sheen. So just be careful in those areas. If you do happen to get a little too much glue, it's kind of pushing way too close to the edge there on some of these cutouts, just take your finger and just kind of dab it a little bit, thin it out, because then it won't really squirt out anywhere. Okay, so this is just going to go right over. Just use those little cutouts as your guide for placement. And with most of Frank here, I used black ink, okay, just to kind of distress it a little bit. Okay, but there is his right leg. I'm going to pop that underneath my mat, like I mentioned. I want that to dry nice and stiff and flat. And let's go over to his left leg. Okay, same thing, except we have a little patch for him this time. So let's flip this over and begin applying our glue to the brown layer. Okay, and I mean, there's quite a few pieces on this, but it's not too bad. Try to walk a fine line of, having that detail, but without going too crazy with it where it would just take forever and you got a ton of little pieces. We want this to be relatively quick. Definitely something that you can do with your kids too, obviously. Okay, so line that up nicely, press that down. This is one of those projects where a brayer might be super useful actually, especially to get everything nice and flat. All right, so let's grab the actual fabric part of his pants. Yeah, I think you guys can do this without a video, but it always helps to have one. Why not? Okay, so just line that up there. You can always use that little cutout, little circle cutout at the top for help with placement as well, obviously. Okay, there we go, press that down. And then we have a little patch. Okay, this little section here that has like the two little things right there. That is going on the bottom left. And it's gonna go like right there, just like that. We do have some markers there to help you with the positioning of it. It doesn't really have to be perfectly positioned with those markers, but they're there, so you might as well use them. I think this patch could pretty much go anywhere, but try to keep it kind of, spread out enough to where it's all balanced as far as design goes. All right, and then we've got the little center part. It's just gonna go right there. For some reason, Dr. Frankenstein couldn't give our boy Frank new threads. So, all right, that's going under my mat. And now, let's put together his little thighs. This is his right thigh. This is his left thigh. These two pieces are, I think they're exactly the same, except they're mirrored. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, it's just 2 pieces. There's no patch on this one at all. So this one's pretty straightforward. Just apply your glue, pop it onto the piece. Just make sure that this piece, the pattern piece, you're putting it on the correct black piece, because they, like I said, they are identical, but they're mirrored. So you'd have to flip one over for it to match up with the other one. Okay, just like that. And that one's good to go. I'm gonna put that under my mat and off to the next one. He's gonna look cute next to his skeleton and witch friend. I think we have a witch, don't we? Yeah, we kind of overdid it last year with these guys, or was it the year before? I don't remember. So I said, yeah, let's not. I don't want to do all of them at once. Maybe we'll do like one a year, something like that, until we get all the nice little monsters. So that one's done. Pop that underneath our mat, and let's take a look at his right hand. Okay, and you can see how I've got it laid out here. It goes just like this. We're going to start with the fabric and pop that onto the black. Go ahead and get your glue flowing there. And make sure you get some glue on his fingertips. We might need to go back and kind of clean that up using our little painting method, because it's such a delicate little area. And you've got a lot of real estate to cover here, so you got to sort of move quickly, which means that we may not always get everything glued securely, but that's not a problem at all. There we go. And that fits nicely. Let's take our brayer very gently, roll that down, and I can see his little fingertip there is not making good contact. So I'll take a scrap piece of paper and just tuck that right under there and just paint a little extra glue right on there and rub some of it off and just press that down and hold it for a second. There you go. Nice solid connection. Okay. Next, we're going to put the green layer down for his skin tone. I think if your skin's green, you might need to go see a doctor. Could be a liver thing. I don't know. Maybe. All right. So that's going to go. You can see where that goes. Obviously, just match that up with the existing fingers, as well as right here where his little cuff is. And press that down into place. If you run into that same issue where you didn't get enough glue on that, just paint some glue on there, pop it into place. There you go. Okay, now the brown part of the cuff is going to go right there. So it's just a little bit of his hand, his arm is showing through there. Now there's 2 of these, so just make sure that you get the right one. It's going to fit onto this green piece perfectly. This green piece is acting like the shadow layer. So just make sure that it lines up and you have the correct piece in hand. There we go, just like that. And then we got this piece. And pop that right on top there. Just like that. Okay. So as I mentioned, as we kind of work through these, I'm going to take this next one, pop it underneath my mat, let it dry flat, and let's go over to his left arm. And the only difference here is that he's got a little patch on the left arm. So nothing crazy, very simple. Oh, and by the way, since we're using brads to kind of, join them all together, if you're lucky enough to find brads that match your patterns, cool. And honestly, if they don't match, I don't think it's the end of the world. Sometimes I think it's kind of cool, but I actually just took out, I busted out my my acrylic paints, and I just mixed my own colors to match the colors of the pattern papers. Okay, because I needed 6 for his coat and 2 for his pants. So I did a little purple, and then I think I just painted the other one black. And that was fine. Okay, so there's his left arm coming together. Let's grab his left hand and very carefully just work our way down his fingers like that. Whoops, oh geez, that's okay. Just gotta make sure I clean that off. Get out of there, mister. Yep, there we go. Just matching that up with the cuff. And then the fingers just kind of naturally fall into place. Perfect. Grab that brayer, very gently press that down. Then we'll grab this piece here and pop that into place just like we did the other side. So I'm super excited for fall. We've had some fall-like weather finally. It's cooling off. I think the air conditioner's been off for a couple days. I am really excited for fall weather. I wish that Peyton would be able to walk by the time Halloween. And you know what? It still might be possible. He's on the verge. So he can actually go trick-or-treating this year. But I might take him anyway. He gets it. He loves dum-dums. I got him a whole bag of suckers. We let him kind of suck on him a little bit. And gets too close to the end of it. I have to take it away. He cries like a little baby. He's just a baby. But that's okay. He gets over it pretty quickly. All right, so that patch is going to go there. And then you can see how it's kind of angled there. Just make sure you grab the right one. And then for the little overlay, also make sure you grab the right one, because there's another patch that goes on his right upper arm. And you don't want to get those confused. I mean, it's kind of hard to confuse them because they're not even remotely the same shape. So just make sure you get the right one. That looks great. I love that. Love that orange on the purple. The two best Halloween colors in my opinion. All right, right upper arm, just these two pieces. Left upper arm, you can see one kind of goes in this way, one kind of goes the other way. But very simple, just 2 layers here. Just throw a little bit of glue on this and just need to match it up with the 2 holes, or just the entire shadow layer, I should say. Here we go. Pop that down. And wonderful. Okay, that's ready to go. Let's pop that under the mat. And then here we go on this one. Very simple. Boy, I'm actually surprised that we're getting through so much in such a short period. My my camera goes in 20-minute intervals. Okay, so now this patch here, because I'm going to go right there, you can see there's 3 little markers that are going to match up with the little stitches on this patch. And Pumpkin just walked in. He literally just opened the door. Hey, buddy. What you doing? Pumpkin is my orange tabby. He's a 10-year-old boy now. He's getting on the older side, but he eats good food, so hopefully he's got another 10. You can tell he's been sleeping a little bit more than usual. His brother is kind of a jerk. Messes with him all the time, but he's still the alpha, so it's good. Okay, so that one's done. Pop that under the mat, and now all we have left is the torso. Okay, so it's torso time here. And again, I'm going to just kind of remove these pieces layer by layer so that I know what I'm doing here. Okay, I got 2 little buttons. Okay, so essentially what we're doing is we're starting with this large green layer, and then we're taking our pattern and putting it right on top. Okay, so that's going to be our first layer. And you can see these are definitely some Halloween papers, which isn't always the case. Sometimes you find that perfect paper could even be like Christmas or Valentine's Day sometimes. You never know. But this one was in fact a Halloween pattern. Obviously this ghost pattern would not work for his shirt, but all right. Just want to match this up with the top. The only thing that's really sticking out here are his little ears. Okay, make sure that it's nice and aligned at the bottom. It's going to kind of set the tone for everything else. And as I mentioned, the brayer really helps with this. Okay, next is the fabric layer, I guess you can call it. That's his undershirt there. And that's really cool. It's like the perfect paper for this. You can see this is kind of a fall pattern. And we'll try to include the names of all these. Some of this stuff, as is true with most crafters, kind of comes from what they call your stash. And it doesn't take long for papers to be discontinued or made unavailable. So, you know, you can't always guarantee that you're going to have the stuff that we use available, but we're trying more and more to use more current stuff. Okay, so we'll flip that over, and I'm going to start at the top here. Just get it lined up. We kind of added that extra layer just to make it easier to align everything. I'm just using my fingers here to make sure that everything is sitting nice and flush throughout. There we go. He's really coming together now. I love it. Okay, we'll press that down. Next, we've got this layer here, and that's just his little collar for his suit. Okay, we just want to match that up as closely as we can. This is kind of it's almost like a shimmery paper. I don't even know what this is. I have to look into that, but it was a little tough to ink, but I did manage to get some ink on there. I just had to apply it a little extra. Okay, just match that up with the top. Again, we've got that part of his head and his chin there. Of course, make sure it's nice and centered. Perfect. Okay, let's get the old brayer on there, press that down. Wonderful. All right, now while we're here, let's put this in place. That's part of his pants there. I want to make sure that we get that in there. It kind of fits like a little puzzle. Okay, that's going right in there. I'm going to adjust that to the left a little bit. Got a little bit of that pattern showing through there, but that's okay. All right, next we have this brown piece. That's going to go right here, and that's where his belt is going to end up. Okay, just like that. And then the gold foil is going to go on top of that. So I think we're just a few minutes away from being done with this guy. I was thinking it was going to take a little bit more time than that, but it really didn't. So kind of cool. Not a very difficult piece at all. And you only really need to pick out, I think, just 2 patterns for this. One for his shirt and one for his pants, which makes it even more fun and easy. There we go. All right, next, I want to get this part in place here. This is his little, just the little inside part of his collar. Okay, so I actually made a little boo-boo on this part. I thought it was like a little puzzle, but it wasn't. It actually goes over the shirt. I'm gonna fix that a way that I know how to fix it. So don't worry about that little blemish there. I will get rid of that. Okay, so that's gonna go right there, right on top of that pattern. Okay, and we have these 2 little circles, and these are just little buttons on his jacket. So just throw a little dot of glue on that. And that's going to go right in here like a little puzzle piece. And they both are the same size, it appears. So it doesn't matter which one you grab. And I'm leaving gunk all over the place. Okay, just a little dot of glue there. Pop that in place like so. There we go. Okay, so now we have the little pockets at the bottom. These are identical. You can foam square these if you want to give them a little extra dimension if you want. I think I might as well do that. But first we're going to take this little piece and pop it right on top like so, just to give that a nice little contrast. Make it look like he went to the tailor once he escaped the lab. He stopped at the tailor and got himself a nice suit. I mean, it's not perfect because obviously there's stitches all over it, but boy, you got some nice material out of this one. Okay, so again, you can glue that down flat, or if you have some foam squares, definitely pull those out. Where are my black ones? There they are. Yeah, might as well. We'll flip these over, and that looks to me like some graphic 45 paper. I couldn't tell on this side, but the other side, very telling. And I'm just going to create a little tripod here. We'll do 3 on each side. And again, you have those little markers. These are identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put where. Use those little markers to help you with the positioning. Get those nice and aligned. I'll peel the backing off of these. Yeah, that adds a nice dimension. When the light hits it, it'll give it a nice little shadow. Here we go, there's that. And then he's got a little pocket up on top, and that's made up of these 3 pieces. So we're gonna take this purple piece, the purple people eater, and that's gonna go on top of this brown. I think this is, I'm gonna say it's rust, maybe AC rust. It's like I'm learning all these colors now after 7 years. Okay, and then we got that little trim piece that goes right on top. And again with this, since we use some foam squares on those pockets, might as well throw one on this one too, just to kind of keep things uniform. Okay, there we go. And I'm willing to bet that I think 1 will do. All right, and we do have a little marker here. It's like 2 upside down L's. It's for the actual straight edge corners of this little pocket. So just make sure you match that up there. And there we go. Now, as far as the head goes, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Oh no, okay, I'm still gonna have to fix that. Okay, that's gonna go right there, and you can either glue that down flat or you can add some foam squares. I think that I'm just gonna go flat with him on this. Either way works, but I'm gonna go flat. I don't know if I want the dimension there. And especially if I'm hanging it, I'd rather have it glued down so that it stays better. I'm worried that if we foam square it, I don't know if the foam squares will hold up as well as glue if it's bearing all that weight, if you know what I mean. There we go. There's Mr. Frank, looking sharp. Now we need to bring him to life. We gotta grab, oh, so here are the brads that I painted. They started off gold, obviously, but I just mixed, for this purple here, I just took some purple acrylic paint, threw a little black in there, stirred it up, and that's what I got. So now I just need to go underneath my mat here and grab all of his appendages. Okay. All right, so let's start with our legs first. Okay, so this guy here with the 2 is gonna go like this, and that's going behind, okay? So I need a purple one for that. So I'll pop that right through. Pop that through there. And just press those to the side. And that blends very nicely. It's not perfect, it doesn't have to be though. All right, this one's gonna go on this side, and with the little point pointing down, again, that's going behind. So we're gonna pop that through, press it, spread those apart, okay? Now the leg's gonna go on top of the previous layer, okay? And this is where I need my black ones. I guess I could have made them like a little more gray, but it's okay because it blends with the little black cutouts for the little holes, okay? Just like that. And this one's gonna go here. Maybe that paint feels dry, mostly. And we gotta separate those out. There we go. There you go, Frank. Okay, now this guy here, patch is on the left hand side, or the patch is on the right. Okay, the thicker part is up at the top. He's got big, strong shoulders. That's gonna go there. The hand with the patch on the left, hand without the patch on the right. Okay, so all we need to do is just poke this through there, and that's going here, like that. And let's get his arm, the arm's going on top of the previous layer, right through the hole. Spread that apart. There we go. And then we got this guy here. He's a tall one. I think we made him the tallest of all of the jointed figures, which is appropriate because he was a big dude. towering kind of dude. And the last little finishing touch. Get his other arm in place, and voila. There he is. All right, let's have a look, Frank. Oh, he's a big dude. Very cool. There he is. There's Mr. Frankenstein, ready to go. Of course, you got the little hole at the top so that you can thread, you can thread some string through there to hang them, or if you have a little hook somewhere in the house, you can do it that way too. But that's going to do it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please take a moment, visit us on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button while you're there, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our Monster Mash bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where I hang out, and the 40,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So hope you had a blast, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.